Hey, welcome to the Crew Live, the most comfortable show on the internet. It's great to have you along. You can get in touch with us at facebook.com/thecrewlive or thecrewlive.co. You'll see it scrolling across right there. Cheers, boys. The Crew Live.
Cheers.
Here we go.
Cheers.
This evening.
Oh,
yeah.
Your coffee's everywhere.
And a drink. You know what cheers is meaningful when you get a little bit of spill over the edge.
Right to your recording device.
Coffee everywhere. Yeah, so, hey, that was a gentle set down. This studio is wired for sound, but sometimes when we hit our glasses on the table, we're working through a bit of a problem and you'll hear a clunk, so sorry about that. Rich, Matt, Cliff, and I'm Jim. Good to have you here. So, boys, have you ever, in your life, felt women were inappropriately thinking and behaving sexually towards you as hot Crew Live males?
Wow. I actually can't say that that's ever happened to me.
Really?
Well, look at you, man. Have you seen a mirror?
Rich, you're a handsome man.
Yeah.
You must have been,
Come on. Don't be so
objectified by
bashful.
women in your past.
Don't be so bad.
Objectify.
You've been objectified.
Is that
I
it?
don't
I'm gonna get a new one for the men. Objectify us. We feel left out.
I don't know what that means, man. It's just weird.
Instead of the heart.
Instead of the heart.
You don't see the heart?
I don't like the heart.
Are you not a Justin Bieber fan?
No.
Yeah, right. Actually,
Is that where that comes
I
from?
got no problem with Justin Bieber, but I'm not a fan either. I don't hate
So-
him.
Anyways, I've never felt objectified.
Matt, have you ever felt
By-
objectified by the other gender?
Absolutely. I think we all have, man.
Really?
Really.
Tell me.
You've never had women treat you like a chunk of meat.
No. They
You're a
love me.
liar. You're a liar.
Women love me for my brains.
Yeah.
My wife says, Jim, you're so smart. You could be as hideous as Harvey Weinstein.
Never. Nobody's.
Maybe it only happens to
Weinstein.
weak men.
Maybe I'm weak and frail.
Maybe the gentleness. So
Ones
you,
that can be taken advantage of.
well,
That's
maybe
probably
eh?
why. I'm just abused.
Why do you ask?
Well, I want to know if Cliff has ever had this.
Yeah, I've experienced it.
Can you recount a tale of it?
It was a ladies' night event that I was serving for, and I don't know. I didn't quite mind it actually.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not that bad, right?
The Crew Live is about truth, and I'm glad you're speaking it.
Well,
That's a good point.
it's these things happen that are maybe somewhat inappropriate, but
Can you get specific? You have deets?
no, I probably don't want to go into any of that.
Right, so
but-
name names then.
yeah.
So just elaborate without names, without real specifics, but so these gals, were they touching you? Were they prodding? Were they
things
giving you
got,
money?
the shirt was pulled off, and I was actually sold in an auction.
You were gone for 3 weeks.
And if
The
you
rest of it I don't remember.
I woke up in Russia. I got one kidney left and one testicle. Everything's fine.
and tonight Cliff is going to take off his shirt to show you the scars, not the reason why he was initially sold.
Yeah.
So did it feel objectifying? Like, how's that go? Objectifying?
Actually, it really did though.
I don't understand what
It did.
the still, but all right.
You,
It's the O.
It's an O.
the O,
Just
yeah,
an
this
O.
is an O, letter O.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went there, okay?
It doesn't look
Cliff,
like
you
it.
got it, right?
Holding it by your
kinda
face
used to
doesn't
it,
look
yeah.
like an O. It looks like something really inappropriate now.
The big O.
How about that?
Hey, give him the big O.
Yeah, just keep going like that
No,
by your
Bart.
face, Jim.
Do
That's
we
great.
all have ADHD or what? Let's
Yeah.
get back on topic.
Okay,
here.
sorry, Rich. Okay, Cliff.
Tell us about the squirrel.
The squirrel. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's hard to describe how I felt actually. It was kind of fun, but kind of, yeah.
Was it an expectation going in? It sounds like it was a women's event. You knew
It was
you were going to get
women's event,
auctioned
but
off.
I didn't realize that it would actually go to the point that it did.
Did you sign a waiver
No,
to
there
be
was none of
fondled
that,
and
yeah.
abused?
Yeah, none of that.
No.
But you do feel that way. Like I said, you're an attractive guy, but these women, they don't know when to stop. Even when you're like, okay, you kind of try and play it off a bit. Next thing you know, they're
Things
just
got a little bit
grabbing as
carried
much
away.
as they want to grab.
Things got a little carried away.
And no one gets charged. No one gets, ooh.
So it was
Blah,
was
blah, blah.
over the line.
They're over. Women are often way more over the line than men. Way more over the line.
In those scenarios?
In those scenarios, yes.
I've never been in one, so I honestly.
You've never
It's
been in
'cause
a
you're strong.
situation
You're strong.
where there's a bunch of drunk women
Strong
around you. Come on.
couch.
Strong couch,
Not so much.
less strong, shirtless
That's
couch.
okay, guys.
Sure,
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm
Own
not the
it.
one that took my shirt off.
Just own it.
Well, so they took your shirt off?
yeah, it was
Ripped from your flesh.
boy, I've never told anybody this story actually. This is
Really?
bringing up some
you wanna
things.
hug her?
So good.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think
interesting.
everything you speak is a little bit of truth in there. I think that you maybe have been stuffing this down for too long, and it may be
Well,
time.
it did make me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Are you serious? And I'm not
No, I
trying
am
to minimize
actually.
it.
Yeah.
It's you know it. Whatever. It wasn't a big thing, but
No.
it was.
It's all right to cry. It's
Cry.
okay. Just let it out.
Cry, cry.
Welcome to the Cry Live.
Yeah, the cry live.
Yeah, and look how we mock you because you're men. So it's
That's
You're-
true, right?
you're-
Actually,
oh my
this is
God.
your-
being
if
molested
the
and
things
groped
were
by
true,
women
then-
randomly.
And we're mocking.
about
We're
how we
making
make
a
fun of
joke
you
out
about
of it.
I am
It
on.
was out of control, out of your hands. These women are ripping your clothes off.
I'm
and
disgusted
we're
with
making fun
myself.
of you
I'm sorry that
That's
you went
excellent.
through that.
I
I
didn't
truly
expect this
am
of the
sorry.
crew, actually.
No, I'm sorry. Anything can happen on the Crew Live. Like you have to come sit on the couch to really know how it feels here. And this
be
is
sad.
This is where it gets real. Is when we work through Cliff's issues.
We're sorry. We're sorry you went through that, and we're here for you.
You know, it's
Anytime.
nothing to be sorry about. Like I
were-
said, it wasn't that big a deal. But
So obviously
it
you volunteered
is-
for
it
a
is-
charity. It was
If it
women
was,
owned.
if the you know shoe was on the other foot, though, I think it might have been a different story. right?
Excellent point.
You
Good
know,
point.
that's yeah.
So if it was a group of men drinking and
ripping
cavorting,
a
And,
shirt-
and
girl's
pulling a
shirt
shirt
off.
off of a woman, you'd never see that, right? Or if you did, it would be
It would be an issue.
it would be a large issue.
so why is it okay for gals to do it to men when they're obviously drink? Like I don't think church groups do it to the pastors and ushers, but they're drinking women and they think it's okay.
Why
Matt,
do you
why-
hate the church so much, Jim? Why do you hate church?
because in church one time I had my shirt ripped off by an
Exactly.
usher.
When they were
Just
auctioning
ushers.
him off
That's right.
For pagan ritual.
for the tivy.
You will sleep with that goat.
For the
What?
titty.
Inside joke. For the tithe.
So why do you think women do that, Matt?
Because women have the same desires and urges we do. Just because they're the fairer sex, we don't treat them that way. Women are just as aggressive sexually as men.
I just don't understand. What do you mean by fairer sex?
Because they're always, prim and proper.
Hmm.
But people seem to miss out on the fact that women, there's guys that are more prudish, rich, or girls that are prudish,
Right.
and guys that are more sexually aggressive. I won't say you. I don't know what your past was fully, Jim, but I've heard stories. But and women that are just naturally more testosterone in them as well. They're more aggressive. I mean, it makes no difference if you're a guy or a girl. You're still, certain people are more aggressive sexually than others, and so the same things happen all the time. So Cliffy getting almost raped at a charity event by women, but we can accept that because he's a man. So it didn't really happen, and they ripped his clothes off and groped him. But if he would have been a woman and a bunch of middle-aged men were ripping the shirt off this woman and grabbing and groping her, and she's trying to smile and nod 'cause it's for charity, that
Global.
would be pretty bloody offensive,
Global news.
right?
That'd be global news.
But I mean, women, certain women, not every woman at the table, I'm sure, were grabbing and groping them. There's probably one or two thinking, "Oh my God, these girls are ridiculous." They're like they're laughing at their friends, while 3 or 4 girls at the table are tearing and groping them.
Okay, let's go to Cliff and get some deets on that. It was a now Matt.
Oh, you know, this was a long time ago.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And that's only happened to you once.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it wasn't the whole table, but yeah, I've never really thought it in that aspect. That you know, if it was males,
Right?
Yeah,
That
would
wouldn't be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had it
You
happen. Nothing like that has happened to me personally.
You've never
But like
had that
I
happen
see
to you?
it. Like I'll see like the Thunder from Down Under, the Australian men. They'll have those guys like on talk shows.
Is that a
doing
stripper
their-
or what?
Yeah, it's like this. It's like the strip crew.
We'll
The Thunder
give you a
from
picture
Down
of
Under.
Thunder from Down Under up here while you're watching. Sorry.
And it seems like it's okay. It's more okay for women to just be hammered plaster, fondling, screaming, orgasmic in the crowd over these men, and it's like, that's okay, they're just having fun. The men are shaking their tushy and twerking. But yeah, if
Mentioned
it
twerking.
was 10 women up there and the men were, yeah, it'd be totally different.
yeah, it'd be called a strip joint.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
And
it
there's
would.
female strip
Right?
joints. too.
Actually, there's been, you know, those.
I don't know if those guys.
establishments
Yeah, I don't know if they
around for a
strip
long
right.
time.
I don't know if they
Yeah.
strip right down.
It would be different. You're right. I don't actually know Thunder from Down Under who that is, and obviously it seems like it's a fairly recent development in society that males are strippers. Like females have been tantalizing males for millennia with sensual dance. I don't know that, in fact, I don't know that males have been as far as a social norm goes. I mean, certainly in the Greco-Roman era, there was a lot of males who were cross-dressing and males who tried to entice other males into sexual activity.
And also the wives and the rich aristocrats at the time, even from the gladiator days, could take the men and play with them as well, right?
Oh, was that right?
Or take the slaves and play with the slaves as well, just because they're rich and they're controlling. Anytime you get a woman in power, it's the same as you get a man in power. They abuse power every time. Every time.
Do you think it's
Every
mostly like strip whorehouses and strip bars and stuff? Do you think they're all, when they started, was it the men that recruited the women and put them into this role? And that's why it's so predominant, because men want that, and so they objectify the women and throw them in there
Make money off them.
to make it. That's why it's so much more predominant than male strippers.
I think it was just an entrepreneur, and at the time there were more men that had money. So he's like, oh, I'll put the women there. If all the women were the ones that held the wallets, then they would probably have male strippers more.
Yeah, so
It's
cultural
just
male
private business,
dominance
man.
has just
It's all
caused
money.
that to be a thing.
Yeah,
I see.
it's just
Yeah,
about finance.
actually, yeah,
money.
male dominance is you know, position of power, right?
Yeah.
People that are in position of power always have the upper hand, and that's
Right.
you know.
That
so it's
just
been the
happens to be
males
the fact of the matter there. That's all.
objectifying females.
So I think of, and I see it often, and I watch The View, American
Do you
female.
really watch The View?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
They're kind of our competitor.
Yeah,
They'll never compete with us.
Well,
That's
no,
true, they
I know,
won't.
but they've kind of tried to take our name in a way.
that's true. The View,
Yeah.
Live. I think they've changed it to now. It just it wasn't the. It was used to
Yeah,
be The
it was
View.
just the View,
Now
and
it's
they
The
might
View
have
Live.
added live.
It's ridiculous.
And The Social. Have you guys ever watched that?
Not at all.
Is that the Canadian version?
That's right.
That's the much better produced Canadian version.
It is much better produced, and they'll probably try to steal our name as well. But nonetheless, whenever they talk about a male star or a male musician, I can't believe how they escalate their innuendo for how they want to get boned by this guy, or what they would do, or how
Totally.
much, you know.
I've totally seen that
Yeah,
too.
they
That's
just-
a good point. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And they, oh, he's so blah, blah, blah. And I wished I could actually.
And just getting a little schoolgirl laughing, and if it was the other way around,
If it were the
even
other way around.
remotely, if a man
Then it
even
would be seen like
remotely
Creepy guys.
implied,
It'd make you look creepy if you were doing that. Thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're creepy too. They are, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's
So,
no change
so
to
who
that.
has boys? Who has sons on this
I
Crew Life
have
Coach?
2 teenage sons, and I warn them about creepy women all the time.
Good for you.
And we try to show them pictures, and if a woman has eyes like that, she's a psycho. Stay away from her. This girl's eyes, she's calm. She's a good girl.
can
Understand
anybody
difference.
name? Okay, I have boys
The
too.
behaviors and
boys?
traits,
I have 2 boys also.
I have
but
2
just
boys as well.
Off the top of your head, can anybody name a woman that you ever can remember being accused or charged, or someone in power for abusing men or boys?
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody. Who?
I'm sorry, you want me to name names, but remembering there is a name to this lady who's a teacher in our province, and she had sexual activity with a 15-year-old boy.
Okay.
and all his friends were like, "Yeah, knuckle pumping," but
That's
really
interesting.
inappropriate, isn't it?
And she
She's in a
she
position of
got
power.
charged.
Position of power, yeah.
She got charged, lost her job. I think she's in prison now, actually. And if that's the case, we'll get an image up there for you all to see, so that you
Of
can
her
see.
in prison.
Right,
Live.
thank you. The Crew Live is always appropriate, sometimes unintentional. Yeah, so is that what you're kind of...
Yeah, I just couldn't think.
You know what? I barely remember your name half the time, so I can't give you names of anybody.
That's okay. It's all.
But it's not uncommon, man.
it's
not
okay,
uncommon.
Tim.
It's
Thanks, John.
okay, so your question was to find out, is there women that do two males, and in this case younger, with a woman in authority, is there women that do to males and it's almost accepted what males have done to women, and it's completely unaccepted. And why do those two not have more of a clash? Why this social?
It's a social cultural way we're taught, though, right? For men, because we are the dominant sex in this Western culture we live in. If a woman abuses you, like a 20-some-year-old or 30-year-old woman has sex with a 17, 18-year-old boy, that's okay because he's a boy and whatever. But if it was the other way around, 30-some-year-old woman had a sex with a man with a 17-year-old girl, he's a creeper, right?
Right.
Even though that woman is a creeper that did with a 17-year-old boy, which we've known stories about this, we were talking earlier about that exact situation. It's acceptable because the boy's a boy and he's stronger than the woman, I guess. Maybe that's why it's okay. I don't know. He physically could walk away if he wanted to.
Well, that's the thing, right? You know, you talk about the innuendo on these talk shows, and it's, I'm sure, the fact that males aren't as threatened
The
by.
producer's upset over there.
Our producer's trying to get us a message by scratching at the floor. Jordan, stop it. Come, show the people what your
I
noise is
don't
about.
know SOS.
Yeah, good boy. Come here.
Sorry,
SOS
that was
for?
part of the acceptance
Total
must be
whiteboard.
simply that. Part of the acceptance of it
I
must
don't.
be what you're saying simply just because the man should have, if we didn't want it, if it wasn't all cool, he would have just
But there's
overpowered or
also
stopped
been-
it.
Sorry, I interrupted Cliff by trying to correct our producer. Cliff, please go back to that.
Oh, just that like I said, the innuendo on these talk shows isn't as threatening to males as, you know, if, again, the tables were turned and you had a panel of males discussing, you know,
How they want to get
How
on
they
this
would
attractive
like-
young girl.
yeah, you know, like what they think about the looks of this person or
Right.
being a female. And yeah, it's more threatening to the female than it is to the male. Why is that?
Why is that?
Because of our physical disposition, that we are actually physically stronger.
Yeah, the positions that males have always had historically over females.
Right.
Right. So
So that has to make it somehow acceptable to do that. So
Well-
four ladies, a little bit younger than our age demographic, fawning, salivating over a 23-year-old Hollywood
Sorry?
actor.
Take a step back here.
Right.
I'm
So,
just gonna
so
drink her.
you can imagine they're just horny for this 23-year-old male. Like,
Yes. Creepy.
It bothers you.
it does.
What are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
Stop watching their stupid show.
I gotta turn that noise
Stop
off.
watching our rival.
You can't learn from them. They have nothing to teach you.
You're right, you guys. And I have to go off camera just to collect myself.
So angry.
so angry.
So angry.
And what do you really care what Whoopi Goldberg thinks anyways? Whoopi Goldberg thinks anyways.
I think Whoopi Goldberg's a lesbian.
What does that have to do with anything?
But so she's not after boys.
She's on the crew. I mean, she's on the. She wants to be on
She
the
was on
crew.
our show.
That's
She
right.
will never come on our show. It's a male.
She's
only
on
show.
the View.
We will have guests. That
That's
can be
why I
female.
brought her
up.
Very good.
Did you not know that Whoopi Goldberg is on The View
On the View. Part.
with Julie Chen
Our
and
rival.
Sharon Osbourne and the gal that played Roseanne Barr's daughter on.
Right.
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever watched.
Well, we'll
that
put an image up of
particular
The
show.
View as you're watching this, and we'll send you one. Matt, I mean, I could.
You
put
don't
one
have to send me
I'm
one.
sure they don't know us either.
I bet they do. I bet they do.
Don't be so sure about that. Maybe.
They want to see cutting edge. They're a little behind. They're old. They're slow.
Is it not injustice though when women on a show or women in a group treat males the way they don't want to be treated?
Yeah, blatant injustice, actually.
It is, isn't it?
It is, but nobody acts on it, so it's nothing matters. Doesn't matter. Nobody acts on it, so it doesn't matter.
So
And
sexual.
no one's ever going to act
It still
on it.
matters. Just nobody acts on it.
Doesn't matter.
That's
Nobody
two
acts on
different
it.
things, man. There's
No,
two different statements you made there.
no, it's
Okay,
one
say
statement.
the statements again, Rich.
It's one statement, and it's
He said
accurate.
it doesn't matter and nobody acts on it.
If nobody acts on it, it doesn't matter.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not, man. It still matters. Just nobody's acting on it.
Doesn't matter.
We're desensitized, so we're not acting on it. That's all.
Right.
But it matters. It's
matter.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
It should matter,
It should matter, yeah.
but it
true.
doesn't matter.
Okay, let me ask you, Matt. You know a bit about the legalities of it. Is there? I know, just a nostril full, but is there an expiration date to somebody getting sexually abused?
In this country?
Yeah, in this country,
I don't believe so.
nor in America, right?
It's different rules down south.
Okay, there's different rules. So let's pick one of our colleagues who happens to be sitting on the Crew Live couch with us tonight. What if this colleague, what if he said, you know, I really feel like I was abused and it's caused me to have detrimental effects in my life, and I'm going to go and press charges against this table full of women where 4 of them peeled my shirt off inappropriately.
And
Or even
Gotta
just the
pinch your
organization,
nipples,
which you
maybe,
might be able to remember.
Or the organization, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of touching going on.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you're going to do that, Cliff, but can you imagine a gentleman
yeah,
of your
that's-
age in his late 30s, early 40s actually going and saying, police officer, I want to press charges against this organization that didn't protect me for my sexual rights.
It's bothered me for 2 decades, and they would frickin' laugh you out the place.
It is. And on the other hand, it would be a plausible scenario.
Right,
Yeah.
if you flipped it
Yeah,
completely.
like,
If it was a woman and they were men that did that, it would be, okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
If it was you, they'd be like,
yeah.
huffing.
Yeah, it's-
you know,
Was it really
It's-
that bad?
or maybe peeling off a man's shirt because male breasts aren't perceived in society as sexual.
You've got very sexual breasts, James. You're a very fit man. I've seen you with your shirt off.
Well, okay, except for that.
So you could rip off a women's skirt as long as she still had underwear on.
It's okay, those women
You're
liked
not
me back
exposing
then
them, okay.
anyway.
And then those
20
women
years
put my
ago.
shirt back on. I don't know why they did that.
the women are bringing shirts out of their purses.
Here, put this shirt on.
Let's put it on.
Just put it on.
Yeah.
So the equivalent Rich mentioned was you could rip off a woman's skirt then, and she's got underpants on or pantyhose, and then
Rich, you cannot do that. That's
Okay.
not appropriate.
It's not, nothing's
but there's
exposed.
nothing, no sexual parts are exposed. So just to
I'm
make
just
it comparable,
It still sounds
Devil's
like
advocate.
assault of some kind to rip someone's clothes off, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate to Jim's thing
yeah, my thing.
that his titties weren't
Yeah,
sexually.
like Cliffy, I feel bad for you, man, that you were.
You guys are talking about my titties.
I've seen you with your shirt off. You're a very fit man as well.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
just
you.
teasing
Yeah,
for it.
right.
Should we not hold women to the same standard we're held to as men? And I'm not saying I want to exploit women for the in inappropriate sexual innuendo and
James,
conversation.
maybe we just shouldn't worry about it so much. Like maybe an attractive woman dressed sexually, you should like, wow, she looks good. And you're an attractive man. You every now and then you've dressed a little plaidish.
Yeah,
today.
the plaid is
But
the thing.
I've seen you dressed very nice. I'm sure women look at you going, wow, he's a good-looking guy. It's just it's okay to appreciate attractiveness and sexuality. You just don't have to act on it and rip Cliff's shirt off.
So you just spoke of appropriateness. Go ahead.
Well, and appropriateness, I guess, is kind of falls under that category. But objectifying people on TV, you know, again, going back to the talk shows that you talk about, and desensitizing, a word that you used previously, that's exactly what they're doing publicly, right? You know, they've got a forum that they can, you know, make comments, basically desensitizing the public
Right.
in objectifying males.
But we objectify all the time when we watch any show. Like I'm watching the news sometimes on Channel 16 or whatever your version thereof. But we objectify, we watch the way that people act and talk, and you comment on. They're on TV. They're there for you to objectify and talk about, right? You are in a public forum, so should we not objectify you? You're really asking for it.
I think
Were
I
you
have
not
been a little
asking
bit.
for it?
Yeah.
You're serving drinks, all sexy.
Well,
Would you like a drink,
all
ma'am?
sexy, yeah.
Yeah, you were asking for it. You're probably wearing a tight t-shirt.
Yeah, see, would that be
Your
a fair
tight
statement to
jeans
make?
showing
I don't
off your
think I was
ass,
asking
your-
for it, actually. I just showed up to,
Yeah.
you know, help out with a fundraiser.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
you know, because I was
different
looking
world then.
sexy. Was I asking for it?
It was different in the
That's your
50s
fault.
when
Yeah.
you did that, though.
So play it out, Rich. We're in court now, and you're the prosecuting attorney. No, you're the defense attorney defending the gals. You're the prosecuting attorney defending Cliff, and you want to defend the gals at this table. What are you going to talk about? He said he was looking sexy.
That's what he signed up for.
Okay, yeah, right. There you go.
So he signed
He
up
had
to
it
be
coming to
physically
him.
He had it
assaulted
come to
after
him.
He
shirt
clearly
ripped
had it
off.
coming to him. He signed up to be auctioned off like a piece of meat. He absolutely knew what he was getting into, so he condoned any activity that happened.
Oh, interesting. And what was he wearing that night?
At the end of the day, nothing.
So you and I guess I
You've
was
actually
driving to
used this
focus on
story
his
forever.
attire, which they do for.
Yeah. Yeah, what he's wearing. I don't remember what he was wearing. He didn't tell me.
He did. What were you wearing that
Were
night?
you at that table?
It was in, it was in shreds on the floor, unrecognizable.
With his self-esteem.
Yeah.
Man.
Like it is now.
Right, so you're defending the offenders who stripped Cliffy naked in front of a crowd of people.
Only because it's my job. Otherwise, I would not defend them. They're
Right.
undefendable.
Right. Indefensible.
That's
So we agree
Did I
that women
correct
can
you?
be very crazy.
I don't know if you
Women
corrected
can be.
me.
Yeah.
That's what we just said?
I don't know how to read.
Illiteracy is a thing.
Get your information from TV.
Or you watch The Social, that's where you learn your skills, right?
Yeah.
Well, going right back to, and we'll wrap up in about 2 minutes, but going right back to Cliffy's thought, and sorry to keep focusing on you, Cliff, but you're the only one in this audience, in this group that's had an experience like that.
You're the only
You felt
weak
a bit weird about it, right?
Yeah, it wasn't 100% kosher.
I'll tell you about my
venture to say
experience
that.
one time too, and then, but the 100% kosher, it just to have your feeling that is real and never address it because society has to accept it, and just compare it on the complete opposite spectrum. If you were a young woman, and I didn't get to you, do you have daughters or sons?
Both.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, 2 daughters and a
so
son in the middle.
you take them, send them out for a night, and see one treated the same way. See them both treated the same way as you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picture your son treated that way, serving drinks, or your daughter. Which one's going to make you angry?
Well, that's the thing, like my daughters have actually brought this up about, things that have, scenarios that have come up in discussions and stuff, and how we react to things different with my son than my daughters.
Yeah.
So you're the
And
only
it's-
one.
It's,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's, yeah.
You're the only one who can speak to this because you don't have any daughters, right?
No, just boys.
We only have boys.
Boys.
I
Sorry,
assume you've
you're-
talked to
Oh,
your.
your brothers. but
I
maybe
assume
not.
you've talked to
We are
your
boys.
daughters about sketchy men and dudes.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Have you ever talked to your son about sketchy women?
You know what? I have not.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
I've
probably
talked to my
nobody
boys a lot
has.
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Why don't we
I've talked to my boys
FaceTime
a
him right
lot
now?
about that.
Well,
We should.
All the time. There's a lot of crazy
okay,
women out there.
I
man.
get it. I get it. You might just have your thumb on the pulse a little bit more than the rest of the people on the planet.
Steady conversations.
Right.
Even my wife has talked to my boys about
Creepy
crazy
women.
women.
But I get that.
Because
We won't
they're
go into
crazy
why.
women.
We all know why. You
Yeah.
probably
But
touch on
most
that
families
subject.
don't.
But most families, I would say, and I like throwing out numbers that are accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 99 out of 100
Right.
people don't
Yeah.
warn their boys
But
about
women are
sketchy
often
women.
more dangerous than boys. Girls are more dangerous than boys a lot of times. They're intelligent. They can abuse their looks and their skill sets.
Hmm.
It's
Because
there's
men
a lot of
are
borderline sociopath women out there.
mesmerized by the
The vag.
badge.
Yeah, there's really little else that draws a young man than the vag when he's a young man.
When you're a young man, yeah.
I've heard.
The wind blows. Things are.
I've heard. I was more introspective than that, and I was drawn by intellect as always. Yeah. So will the fathers and mothers of that are watching the crew live who have sons go tell their sons now?
Beware.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Message, right?
Beware the brides of March.
Well, I wish.
Shakespeare. We're good.
Yeah, that was like a reference to the Ides of March. Ah, nice one.
That's a bingo. Did we get to the bottom of it at all?
I think we did. I think it's deplorable that females in media can actually objectify men in ways they themselves don't want to be objectified, nor would endorse female objectification. It is an unmitigated double standard that should not occur because it's sending the wrong message to both girls and boys.
So you did have a wrap up. You're alive.
No, I didn't. I just made that shit up.
That's
But
good. You didn't make it up. You're speaking from the heart. That's
yeah.
what crew's all about.
But the social,
Speaking
the
truth.
view, any one of them that does that, I would like to see if
But
they're.
Some backlash.
People are people no matter what, though, right?
Okay,
There's
so
good,
now
bad, male, female, whatever.
I will do
There's
it
aggressive, non-aggressive.
because my education comes from TV.
Mhm.
So
Which is
I
terrifying.
will watch now.
Terrifying.
I'm going to watch for that abuse, and I'm going to start an uproar on social media next time I see that injustice.
That's right.
You know, social media is not real. Right? That's not real. You liking or not liking something doesn't change a damn thing,
Well,
right?
That's not quite an uproar.
Oh,
Like,
do you-
like that?
I never said
didn't
that.
Like it. I'm angry face. There. There's an uproar.
So
Seriously?
awareness doesn't change anything. Okay.
Awareness on
Words
social
of
media?
wisdom from Tim.
Social media means nothing.
Okay,
From
social
Jeffrey.
media is one of the biggest media outlets on the planet.
It's not
you
media.
can reach hundreds and thousands
true.
of people on a topic
Oh my god.
like that.
It's not a topic.
And
when
the
it's only
awareness
opinions
of it-
facts mixed into it. I've argued with this about people before. They're quoting social media, and I'm like,
I'm not
that's
talking
real.
about liking your salad that you got at Earl's for lunch that you took a picture
I'm
of on
talking
Facebook.
Government policies people argue, and they use social media as fact based.
And
it's
social
not.
media is just a bunch of
Well,
opinions.
it's all opinions. It's not actual based on any reality. It's not real.
Sure, but if I saw an injustice on The View
Nothing will happen
and
if
all
you post
those
it on
old
social
ladies
media.
haggling over, and I took a clip of that and I plastered it all over social media, and 5 million people saw that Whoopi Goldberg and
Vote
Joy
for oppression
Behar.
again. Is that what you're doing?
no, objectify.
So
Objectify.
10
Oh,
million
objectify.
people.
Do that by your face. I'm checking.
So if 10 million people witnessed them objectifying a man,
Yeah.
that there wouldn't be any repercussion.
I stopped listening about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, good, good.
Well, our audience caught all that, Rich,
Yeah.
because there could be repercussion when they see injustice, right? Like,
And they should do something real. Repercussion. Real. Stop.
Like what?
Real
Go beat up Joy
intervention.
Behar?
Who?
Exactly. It's okay. Forgive him.
Joy Behar.
Did Joy? Is he a bad man who abused a lot of people? Yes, you should.
Some
beat him.
people might think that he is.
He is. Okay,
Bad
just to
man.
close off this session of the Crew Live, we're going to send an image of Joy Behar up for our buddy Matt to see. And
Don't send me pictures of some weird guy, man.
there's a weird guy.
He's on the crew. I mean, on The View.
And as a side note, that fundraiser, we did raise a lot of money.
Oh, that justifies your.
That
Justifies your
justifies your
therapy.
mental anguish and
Your sadness.
that
You're
you've
crying
been
yourself to sleep
traumatized
every
for
night. That's
3
good.
decades. When was it? 65?
Mid-60s, yeah.
65.
When people still smoked in bars.
What you've heard is brilliance from Rich, brilliance from Matt, brilliance from Cliff, and brilliance from me. And we know Cliff's suffering because of objectification.
Objectification.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, and
You brought something new to the world, Rich. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going to put it all over
You've
social
taken the
media.
heart, and
Yeah.
you made the heart very weird.
objectify is not finding my device. Whatever, you piece of shit. We'll put it up for the audience to see, and we'll show Matt. Oh, here, actually, no, I can just show Matt. There's a picture of Joy Behar there, Matt, if you care to see.
Oh, that's not a guy.
Looks angry though. Whatever.
Whatever it is.
That's not a guy.
Like Jay Bear.
Yeah, so she.
I don't know why you're showing me that picture still. I don't know.
Why? Because Rich mentioned Joy Behar.
I don't have nightmares.
And she's on The View, which The View Live has stolen the Crew Live's name.
Did steal a name.
That's right, they did.
That's what we've been talking about, man.
That's right.
Legal
So,
suit pending.
yeah. So please, okay, so back to serious mode for just a second.
Okay.
If you have been objectified as a female or as a male and you don't feel it's just, let us know at thecrewlive.co or at facebook.com/thecrewlive, because nobody deserves to be objectified. We all deserve to be treated respectfully as humans, whether it's media, moguls, or just minions that are treating you in those manners. Thank you very much. Rich, anything to close with?
We'll gladly share your story
We will share.
and help you work through it, just like we did.
Thanks, guys.
Matt, what do you got to say?
And if you see something going bad, do something besides social media to change it.
Nice, that's good. I like
That makes
that.
sense.
Cliff, what do you got to throw in here?
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
You're talking to that group of women? Okay.
Cliff feels better. We all
Table of
feel
women,
better.
he thanks you for having him.
For making him the man he is today. Thanks for being part of the Crew Live. Get in touch with us at facebook.com/thecrewlive or thecrewlive.co. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers it up, gents.
Cheers.
Cheers it out. Hey.